wild ride in the markets, particularly on oil. What are markets telling us about the situation with Iran and the prospects for oil in the coming year?
So I think, like, you take a step back and you listen to what President Trump has said, like, this is going to be over very soon. We have a good handle on the situation. And the president does tend to be hyperbolic in certain situations. But you're fighting a war that's not really a fair fight in any way, shape, or form. And it's not just about the size of our military or the power of our ammunition. And, like, it's, they say amateurs talk strategy, professionals talk logistics. And much of winning a war is putting all the puzzle pieces together simultaneously to move pieces around the chessboard. The U.S. is a secret weapon to allow us to kind of defeat anybody in real time, and that's Palantir's Maven. And the Maven software is beyond comprehension in how well it can organize on the battlefield. So when the president says this is going to be over in short order, it's probably going to be over in short order. And so when you look at it from that standpoint, that this conflict is likely to be close to a resolution in a matter of weeks, not months or years, like the last few Middle Eastern conflicts, it becomes, well, then what? Right? And the market right now is saying, hey, somewhere in the 80s, I think we potentially get into the 70s. I don't know that we get back down to the 60s where we were, and I don't know if that's...
Why is that? If the conflict is as definitively finished as you're saying and as quickly, why not by later in the year would you not be?
Well, it's not like a corporate takeover where it's like you're doing a job one day and you're changing your email signature, right? It's a little bit more...
I didn't think it was quite that simple, but I hear you.
But it's a little bit more involved, and I don't know that we're stuck with permanently higher prices. But on the other side, you have the United States as having an ally or a Venezuela-type situation on the other side of the Straits of Hormuz. So this is wildly beneficial in the long run for the entire globe outside of, say, China, who gets half their oil through there.
So, Dagan, you mentioned...
Safety track record is, I think, pretty good, better than human error. What do you think?
So look, I have a Tesla. The supervised self-driving is unbelievable, right? And if you go by Tesla's numbers, there's like a major incident, 1.1 every 5.3 million miles versus 660,000 for humans. So, 5 times is less, roughly, or 10 times is less, somewhere in there. And then for a minor incident, every 1.1 million miles versus every 160,000. In the supervised self-drive. Those are Tesla's numbers. There's another tech blog out there saying that, it's one accident in a Waymo every 98,000 miles, one accident in a Tesla every 57,000. But that's very limited data since these robotaxis have been out. But, like, this is coming. And it's going to take a little, to me, it's almost like streaming TV, where it happens a little bit, and then all of a sudden. And once people can get comfortable with just putting something in the GPS and just letting the car go, it's going to make a huge difference in people's lives. If you have a 35 or 40-minute commute every single day, and you could spend that time working on your laptop, reading a book, like it will make a huge difference in the quality of life, especially if it's safer. And so again, from Tesla's own internal data, it's way safer, but that's like, on Wall Street, we say that's talking your own book. Experiencing it, I tend to believe there's validity to it, but, like, you kind of need a more standardized, and you need more data with these robotaxis and these Waymos out there before you can say definitively it's much safer.
So, Brian, what I like about this, and we've talked about this, technology always,
there's another stock out there called Mobileye. It's an Israeli company. It's 90% owned by Intel. Okay, they are the software. And so Detroit has been trying to develop this technology for a very long time. Where is it? Right? So a lot of these companies that don't have this autonomous driving are going to be forced into either coming to a deal with Google and Waymo, with Tesla licensing their software, which I don't think anybody in Detroit is looking forward to, or a lot of car makers elsewhere in the world, or you can use Mobileye, right? And so Mobileye and the stock has just been, it's like at $8. It's been absolutely destroyed. There's a tremendous amount of upside there. They already have a deal with VW.
Interesting.
And so it's like, this is coming, and it's going to happen. It's all of a sudden you're not going to see it, and then it's going to be everywhere.
I want to talk about, we were talking
from a political standpoint. You saw it with Mondami in New York. Like, populism is here, and the party that can sell people on it better is going to win. It's this battle for the low propensity middle class voter, because you have committed bases. I'd say the left in this election cycle looks far more committed than the right. So who can sway the low propensity middle class voter? And this is kind of a brilliant idea. It's the same as no taxes on tips, no taxes on overtime, right? It's along the same. And like, no one's ever going to call out Cory Booker in the mainstream media or the Democrats for coming up with a supply side populist message and how it's contrary to everything he's ever done in his entire career. But this is not a bad idea, that like you have people in the lower sphere getting crushed by inflation, crushed by the cost of living, can't get ahead. The same with no tax on dips, no tax on overtime.
Right.
It's of the same ilk. It's very smart politically. And like while we're talking about the midterms, like I don't know that you would win Ohio or Iowa or North Carolina or Maine if the midterms were today in the Senate. It's not looking too good in the House. It's also looking horrible in the Senate and doing nothing for the Save America Act. Like you need some fresh ideas of things Republicans can do to get voters out.
Well, the top 1%, the break.
In this break that you bet on sports. So I'm coming to you first. I am not this person, but one of the kids quoted in the story that we were given says, hey, it must be okay if Kevin Hart's doing it. What do you think of the influence of this on young people's lives?
Well, you know, you need to, like that, there's a saying, the house always wins. And like, you can't be willing to gamble something unless like you can lose it, right? And I do, like, and even, like where I went to college, there were quite a few gentlemen that looked like they were the cast of the Jersey Shore and that were taking bets. So it's not new. It's just you're doing it on your phone now instead of the kid down your hallway, right? So this exists. Gambling is a real addiction, the same way drugs and alcohol are, and it can ruin people's lives. And like that doesn't change because it's more freely available. And like I don't do anything because a celebrity does it. I mean, I've been that way most of my life. Maybe this kid, I'd imagine he was joking to the reporter when he said that, because that sounds like something I would have said when I was in college. I'm like, well, if Kevin Hart's doing it, it can't be wrong.
Right.
But then,
let me go to Brian here. So there's a 2023 NCAA survey.
Mike Lee, are you in on this? You got a little.
I don't know. I don't know about $1,000 for a grooming session, but several hundred.
Anti-aging peptide therapy.
No, you better here.
That's a thing.
I've owned a lot of
I've
owned a lot of rescue dogs. You better save your money because all of the vet clinics across the country have been taken over by private equity, and they've jacked prices. You're looking at $10,000 for just a run-of-the-mill abdominal surgery.
Charles, that's why I have a pet rock. Turn it over to you.
Hey,